Hey, what's up, guys? Antoine here, aka the Big Fella. It's time for another Q&A session, so I'm going to go ahead and start reading off some of the questions here. All right, the first question is, do you like to use live bait? Every once in a while, I'll use live bait, especially when I'm like river fishing. I like to use like night crawlers, bloodworms, in the Rappahannock especially, and then in the Potomac, I like shrimp, squid, night crawlers. Pond fishing, mainly only night crawlers, but I like using my soft plastics and my other fishing tackle for that. So, but I do like using live bait sometimes. That's a good deal on some water. Guys, there's a piece of advice. Never go into a grocery store to shop when you're hungry, because right now I could buy up half of this store. I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but I am a bit of an ice cream connoisseur. I love ice cream. Alright, got the water and a Dr. Pepper. The next question is, you seem to fish at your old neighborhood a lot. Is there any particular reason why? To answer that question is, yeah, the fish seem to bite there a majority of the time. That, and it's also the closest pond to my neighborhood that I can fish at for free. That's about 20 to 25 minutes away. The other pond you have to pay $10 to go to, whether you're there for 5 minutes or all day. And some of the other ponds I like to fish are about 45 minutes to an hour and a half away. And I don't want to burn that much daylight after I get off of work trying to get there to get on the water. So that's the reason why I fish in my old neighborhood. Now, I used to have a lot more fishing areas that I fished at, but a lot of people that had these ponds and lakes on their private property discontinued people fishing there because people would go there and leave trash all over the place, and they would disobey the rules that they had in order for you to fish there. So if someone does give you permission to fish on their property, please leave it in a better condition than what you left it in when you had got there. And if they say catch and release only, please just catch and release. Don't take all of their fish out of their pond or lake or whatever they have on their property. So just be respectful if someone does let you fish on their property. Oh geez, I need gas. Much better. If only it worked that way for real, right? So this lady at the gas pump behind me decided to light a cigarette while she was pumping gas. Nope, had to beeline it out of there. She wasn't killing me. Next question is, what method do you like to use the most when you fish your soft plastics? My favorite way to fish my soft plastics is wacky rig. I don't know what it is about it, but it seems like I can get fish to bite more off of that than I can a Texas or a Carolina rig. It's just I don't know if the fish are biting out of curiosity or what, but it seems like I can catch a lot more fish off of a wacky rig. But I still will throw Texas and Carolina rigs. It's just my first resort when I'm having a bad day is throwing a wacky rig. The next question is, when are you going to take that beautiful wife of yours out on a fishing date? Oh, soon. I'm going to take her out pretty soon. She does want to get into fishing, and we just have to go out and get her some gear, and I want to pick a nice spot for her, somewhere quiet where we're not going to be disturbed, and that we can catch fish. But I do plan to take her out because she is very interested in fishing. She loves watching me fish. She watches my YouTube videos all the time, and my kids love to fish, so she definitely wants to be able to take part in all of that. So, but we're going on a fishing date pretty soon. Excuse me. How you doing? There's some nice people in this town. Everybody here, in general, waves at you or speaks to you when they see you. All right, back to work. All right, the next question is, why did you change your Facebook and YouTube channel name from Fun Cheap Fishing to Big Fella Fishing? The reason I did that was it seemed like Fun Cheap Fishing was harder to remember when I would talk to somebody face to face. So I decided to go with Big Fella Fishing, and it seems like a lot of people are able to remember that. Looking at me, I am a big fella, so it's easier to link the two name and myself together. I ran into somebody and they were wanting to know what my channel name was, and I was telling them Fun Cheap Fishing, and we were talking and we were ending the conversation, and they was like, what was the name of your channel again? So I had to tell them Fun Cheap Fishing. But it seems like Big Fella Fishing is able to stick in people's minds, so that's why I changed the name of my channel and my Facebook page. I am going to still teach you guys my little tips and secrets on fishing for cheap, and give you my little reviews on like some of the cheaper products. So nothing about that is changing at all. It's just the name of the Facebook and the YouTube channel. The email address is still going to be funcheapfishing@gmail.com, simply because if I change that, it's going to delete all the videos that I uploaded. So I am going to keep that email address. So if you guys still want to email me questions or even video ideas, you can just send them to funcheapfishing@gmail.com. The next question is a pretty good question. I actually been thinking about this. The question is, are you ever going to get rid of that push button pole that you have? To answer that question is, eventually I will. I bought that push button rod because I didn't know how to use a bait caster. And then I got out the guts one day to go buy a bait caster and work with it. Now I really, really love the bait caster. But I don't want to get rid of the push button rod because it still works. But if it breaks and I can't fix it, I'm definitely going to get rid of it and continue with bait casters and spinning rods. So yeah, that's why I still have the push button rod. But I do plan to get rid of it once it does break. The next question that was asked was if I plan to fish in any other states other than Virginia. And to answer that question is, yes, I do. It's actually one of my bucket list items is to be able to fish in all 50 states. But right now I'm trying to concentrate into getting into Maryland and fishing some lakes and ponds. I haven't done any research on where I would like to fish at yet. I'm still trying to, get Virginia pretty well covered since I live here and I already have a fishing license here. But I do want to try to get over into Maryland and eventually travel around the United States and fish in each of the different states. I want to get my boat straight, get that stronger trolling motor, maybe even a gasoline powered motor so I could travel some of the bigger lakes. But yes, to answer the question, I do plan on traveling to other states to fish. All right, the next question is, do you plan to do any fishing videos out of your Intrex Seahawk 2? Yes, I do. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's my inflatable boat. It's in one of my other videos. I'll put the link to that video down in the description. It's in there very briefly, so you just have to kind of sort of pay attention. But I do plan to do fishing videos out of that. I'm just waiting on my my camera to show. It's an Ekin H9R. It has a waterproof housing, So I'm really scared to take my cell phone out there in the water and accidentally drop it in there and never see it again. But yeah, I do plan to do fishing videos out of that as soon as I get that camera. I was about to answer one of your guys' questions, but somebody was looking at me kind of funny because I'm sitting here with this my cell phone on a selfie stick with it in my face talking to it, and he was just giving me some weird looks. But that's something that you have to get used to when you're recording yourself out in public, is the funny looks that everybody gives you. Alright guys, that's all I have for questions so far this week. If you have any more questions, feel free to email them to me at funcheapfishing@gmail.com. Message me them on my Facebook page, or if you see me in person, just ask me there, and look for your questions to be answered on my video. But like I always say, make sure you get out there on the water, try your hand at fishing, learn it. It's a great sport to get into. Fish for fun, fish for cheap. This is Big Fella, signing out.